Once again, good afternoon. We are going to discuss today Saint Simon, and as I said just now, his full name is Claude-Henri de Rouvroy, Comte de Saint Simon. He was born on October 17, 1760 in Paris, and he died on May 1925 in Paris itself. Uh, uh, Saint Simon, as I said from the very just now, he is a French philosopher, you can say, a French social scientist, or a socialist thinker. Uh, you see, he was one of the most influential thinker of his time as a social scientist. Also, you can say, he is considered as a chief founder of what is largely known as Christian socialism. Saint Simon, towards the end of his career, towards the end of his life, he wrote a book known as, in English, it is known as New Christianity in 1825. And in this particular book, Saint Simon talked about brotherhood of man, which must be accompanied which must accompany the scientific organization of industry and society. So basically, from this very important book, we can say that Saint Simon is concerned about the scientific progress, he is concerned about the useful productivity and in the society, or productivity that are useful for the society, and he is against what is known as clericalism, or the actual control of few ecclesiastical group or religious groups on the society. So therefore, as I mentioned just now, the brotherhood of man, he says, must accompany the scientific organization of industry and society. So, Saint Simon, he actually came from a impoverished aristocratic family, and most part of his life, especially in his earlier life, before he became a social thinker, he claimed descent from the noble class known as the Charlemagne noble society. And at the age of 17, he entered, into military service. And as he entered the military service, he was sent to American colonies to, to serve as a captain, to serve as an army, first of all, in the war of independence against England, which means he was helping the American society to get in the struggle for independence. In the later part of his life, in the later part of his service, in 1781, he even served as a captain of artillery at Yorktown. So, during the French Revolution, Saint Simon returned home and he remained in France, and during this period, he brought up newly nationalized land with funds being given by his friends. And he was also imprisoned during what is known then as the Reign of Terror, which means during that particular phase where there was a lot of confrontation, a lot of violence, and so on and so forth. So he was himself imprisoned during that time because of embezzlement activities. During that time, or even after that, he became enormously rich because of the depreciation of the revolutionary currency that happened at that particular point of time. So therefore, during that time when he was very rich, he enjoyed his life, a lot of entertainment, a lot of splendor, and he entertained the high-ups or the all-known individuals of the society. But after several years of this life, he became bankrupt. And it was only after he became bankrupt that he turned to the study of science, that he turned to the study of philosophy, and he dedicated his life into studying and writing. So, from 1803 onwards, Saint Simon started publishing or writing and publishing his ideas. The first of his ideas, as I said, was published in 1803 in the title called as the Letters of an Inhabitant of Geneva to his contemporaries. And in this particular writing of his, he proposed that the scientists take the place of priest in the society, and in order to organize the social order of the society. No more that the priest should have control over the society, but the scientists and the industrialists should have control over the society. And he argued, therefore, he said, the property owners who held political power could hope to maintain themselves against propertyless only by subsidizing the advance of knowledge. I repeat again, he says that those who are currently at the helm of political authority, or the property owners who held political power, could hope to maintain themselves against property lust only by subsidizing the advance of knowledge, which means by investing in education, by investing in social sectors, so that the people will not constantly be against the rulers, but rather they would be educated. This is what Saint Simon argued in his first write-up, known as the Letters of an Inhabitant of Geneva to his contemporaries. In 1814, again, he wrote another very important book that is on the reorganization of European society. In this particular book, he talked about particularly the coming together of the European states to suppress war, to suppress warfare, to get themselves out of the warfare activities. In the 1816 to 1818, in collaboration with Auguste Comte, he wrote another very important piece, and that is called as the Industry, a book called as Industry, where he proposed the nature of industrial organization, the way in which industries will have to play an important role in the life of people as well as in the life of the society. So these are some of his important writings, and I already mentioned to you about the New Christianity, written in 1825, which has an immense influence in the, as I said earlier, the development of Christian socialism, as well as having a major impact on many of the succeeding ideologies, thinkers, including Karl Marx, Frederick Engels, and so on and so forth. As an academician, people have pointed out that Saint Simon was deficient in terms of system, clarity, or being clear in his subject and his coherence, which means Saint Simon was not an organized academician or as a social thinker. He is deficient in system, which means he never developed a system to articulate his ideas, but rather he keeps on articulating his ideas, and these ideas are of course very important today. He does not have very much clarity and coherence in his writings, but as I said, his influence on modern thought, especially in social science, is undeniable, and it does not cease at any point of time in our social science teaching. So now coming to some of his ideas, you see his main ideas are simple in nature, and they represented a reaction against the bloodletting of the French Revolution, which means although he was part of the French Revolution, he was against the bloodshed that was taking place during the revolution. On the one side, he gives a very clear, very simple ideas, and on the other side, he is very articulate in his attack against the French Revolution, particularly the bloodthirsty aspect of the revolution. So, so he also correctly foresaw the industrialization of the world, or the significance of the industrialization of the world. He himself believed that science and technology would solve most of humanity's problems. He is very clear about it, that the future society belonged to the science and technology. That's why he says that the golden age of civilization is not that we can see, we have experienced in the past, but it is for us the present to prepare, because for the golden age of human civilization that is going to come, and where our children, our future generation will enjoy. Okay, so therefore, as I said, he believed in the future society. He believed in having ideas, on developing ideas for future development. So in opposition to feudalism, which is the old existing social order, and also militarism or militarization, he advocated the arrangement of of the takeover of the society by the business classes, the industrialists, and the industrial leaders. He says the future society should belong to those who produce useful things for humanity, for society. So, and therefore, in the New Christianity, he says that the spiritual direction of the society should be in the hands of scientists and engineers. They have to take the place which was occupied earlier by the Roman Catholic Church in the European Middle Age. The spiritual direction of society should be led by the scientists, should be led by the engineers, should be led by the industrialists, should be led by those people engaging in business, and business for the future good of the society. So therefore, he also believed that the industrialized state must be directed by modern science, and society would be organized for productive labor by most capable men. The avant-grande, or the glorious, the society must be led by people who are most capable, gloriously capable people. So therefore, society must be organized for the productive labor by the most capable men. So only those who have the ideas about how to develop society, how to take society forward, should lead the society. Not anymore those who are those who believe in superstition, those who believe in the in the world beyond reality. Okay, so therefore, the aim of society, he says, the aim of any society must be to produce things useful to life, useful to everyone. Not necessarily that the aim of society is to worship God which may not necessarily help us in our day-to-day activity. The aim of society must be to work together, must be to develop further, must be to to do things that are useful for us and for the future generation. And that is why, as I said in the in his writings, the reorganization of European society, he also proposed that the European states form an association to suppress war and warfare, because war is never at any point of time good for the society, never is going to bring about development in the society. That is what Saint Simon believed. In his New Christianity, written in 1825, Saint Simon argued that the cause of poor takes the form of religion. He says that religion is something that keeps people poor. Religion is something that that empowers the people. So therefore, as I said, the cause of poor. What is the cause of poor? What is the reason of poor? The reason of poor takes the form of religion. It is here that religion, use. It is poverty that religion often use. It is used against people to make them feel insecure, to make them feel that they need someone else to be able to alleviate their condition. And the fact that religion is based on superstition pushes the society further into poverty. Pushes the society further into poverty. So, in this particular work, as I said, New Christianity, he propounded the precepts of Christianity. Means he propounded the basic principle of any religion. He says that religion should guide the community towards the great aim of improving as quickly as possible the conditions of the poorest class. What is the role of society, of religion? He says religion is not to make people feel insecure. It is not about making people think that only God can save them. It is not about constantly believing in supernatural power without helping them to actually realize their potential. But religion, he says, should guide the community towards the great aim of improving as quickly as possible the conditions of the poorest classes, of the poorest class in the society. So this is basically the overall the concern of Saint Simon. Since this is the beginning of this lecture, I would not go into detail. In the later class, I will talk about various specific ideas of Saint Simon. So as I mentioned from the very beginning, Saint Simon died in 1825. And in the subsequent years, his disciples, made him famous. His disciples carried out his projects. They tried to further his ideas into the society. By 1826, they formed into what is known as the Saint Simonian cult or sect. And by 1828, they started organizing meetings across Paris and in various provincial towns and cities. And by 1830, Saint Simonian became one of the most